Hey, my name is Logan, and yours is Josh. Well, statistically it's probably not, but I did just freak someone out really bad, and I think we can all appreciate that. What, you thought that one was funny, Jacob? Alright, I'm done. Welcome back to Where Are We Now? The exploration series in which we scour the mysterious, ever-expansive digital plane in search of cozy corners and alien architecture. In this episode, we're heading back to Skyrim for a second helping. I had a lot of fun being a sort of fantasy realtor for the player homes last time, and there's no shortage of talent to admire in the community, so I'm itching to dip my bowl in the Skyrim soup again. There is something I wanted to clear up, though. Since that video attracted a new audience, a lot of new viewers were disappointed that I wasn't examining the vanilla player homes, and that I chose only to feature modded ones. Well, in these videos, I'm primarily concerned with exploring the work of individual creators, who make things out of their own passion for games. That's not to say that something that exists in a game officially wasn't created by someone talented. On the contrary, but it's a different vibe when you're looking at mods. Rather than someone working at a game studio for a salary, these artists are mostly creating stuff and releasing their work for free, which makes the art itself more honest, because it's divorced from the economy. Sure, some of them do have tip jars, but that's different. Playing someone's mod isn't a transaction. Again, mostly. There's that word again. My point is this. Art that's beyond the reach of commodification in this way is a rare and wonderfully defiant thing. It's a sort of freshness in a gaming ecosystem that's being made more stale each year by things like microtransactions, bloated pricing, and slop corpo games greenlit by a CEO who hasn't played a game since 1989. And I want to celebrate that freshness. I want to center that. So, to put it simply, I look at community-created content in this series. At least for now. I won't pretend to know the future or anything, but that's where we are now. Skyrim has always enjoyed a consistently high player count on Steam, and the recent release of the Oblivion remake has given the numbers an extra little bump on top of that. I haven't played it yet, but I'd be willing to bet that a bunch of first-time Elder Scrolls players that bought the Oblivion remake got curious and picked up Skyrim too. And to those new fans, first off, welcome. You're finally awake. And secondly, play Morrowind too. Some of these spring chickens are likely experiencing the ever-familiar headaches of first learning to mod, just like many of us did years ago. What better a time than now to introduce them to some proper Skyrim digs? Once again, in this episode, we are going to be looking at several player-created homes from the Nexus Mods website. I'm going to be evaluating them on how livable they would be if they were real places. This includes things like feng shui, material realities like access to food and water, overall vibe, and much more. The lineup in this episode is great, so let's get right into it. Are you ready? Of course you are. The first home I have in store for you actually takes us all the way back up to Dawnstar again. And when I last made a Skyrim episode of Where Are We Now, I left off somewhere around Iverstead when we looked at Hermit's Stump. Somehow, despite having documented proof of me being there, I don't have Dawnstar discovered on my map, so I can't fast travel there. So I have a bit of a walk ahead of me. Now I know what you're thinking. Why don't I just use the console command to discover everything on the map, then fast travel to Dawnstar? Well, sometimes you just have to see the forest for the trees. Skyrim's countryside is gorgeous. I mean, look at this. You miss out on all of this when you fast travel all the time. That's actually one of the bigger reasons I've racked up so many hours in this game. When I'm playing just for fun, I don't use fast travel. Like, ever. I feel like having the ability to fast travel so easily sort of neuters the open world aspect in the first place. You discover less, and the game starts to just feel like a collection of levels that you're warping to and from, rather than a vast playground for you to carve your own stories out of. There's a lot I could say about what makes a fast travel system good or bad, but those discussions are from my game review videos, so I think I'll bite my tongue this time. Okay, I can't help myself. My short version is this. Some fast travel systems are okay. But they're all kind of bad, and wouldn't be necessary in the first place if the player was just given faster and more interesting ways of traversing the world. At the very worst, though, no one's forcing you to use fast travel, and it's good that it's there for players who aren't playing for the open world aspects. As is customary, I get attacked by some bandits on the road. It doesn't bother me. I relish any opportunity to demonstrate the frailty of flesh. Then there's some wolves, then some spiders, and some more bandits, until finally I reach Dawnstar. It's just as welcoming as I remember it. So welcoming, in fact, that one of the first things I overhear on my way through town is Saren telling her husband Rusleif how badly she wants to move somewhere else. Just north of town, a short doggy paddle away, is what we came here for. The Pride of the Niben, by G.G. Humus. It's a ship and a home. How cool is that? It's a bit smaller than I expected, but ideally you want a ship to be on the smallish side if you're sailing around Skyrim, because the size and maneuverability make it easier to dodge the many glaciers and rocks. If you want to sail the Sea of Ghosts in the comfort of a traveling home, it's going to cost you 12,000 septims, which I feel is really cheap for a vessel of this size. You'll be thankful for the deal too, since you're going to be spending a lot of gold on upkeep. The water north of Skyrim is very salty. Once you actually interact with the ledger here and buy it, the innards are still locked. You have to wait for the courier to find you. So I wait, and I wait, and I wait. Where the hell is he? Isn't finding you wherever you are kind of this guy's entire shtick? Do I need to go into town? Oh, there you are, you sneaky little letter boy. Once he delivers the deed to you, you gain the key to enter the interior of the ship, as well as a footnote by someone who refers to themselves as simply Captain. So immediately I'm picturing a salty sea dog that finally retired from a life of loving the sea and all the adventures and troubles that came with it. The deck of the Pride of the Niben is fairly simple. We have this nice little table with chairs for enjoying evening meals in the sea breeze. You've got your standard grindstone, anvil, and workbench set up for all your smithing needs, even though I would urge you not to light any fires on the deck to smith with. And of course, the helm. We'll come back to that later. For now, let's head inside. Wow, I'm pleasantly surprised at how clean it is in here. Looks like that old captain kept a tidy ship. There are no home upgrades for this place, it just comes pre-furnished, adding even more value to that already very generous purchase price. What swashbuckling pirate captain is complete without their booty counting desk? I appreciate the detail of the map under all the knickknacks. There's actually a lot of objects scattered around just this room alone. There's a taxidermy slaughterfish right here, I see a troll skull, a couple of person skulls, probably mutineers. It looks like this captain had quite a life. I actually don't know that they were a pirate, I just really want them to be. Let's head below. Who is this in this painting? Could this have been the previous owner? And would you look at this? An open fire pit below deck. Good effort with the stone on the bottom, but I still see this as an immense problem. Not only is a fire this size going to fill this cabin with smoke in a fairly short time, but fire is extra dangerous on a boat in the water. You might think it'd be the opposite, what with all the water around, but fire spreads fast on a ship made entirely of wood. And if your vessel burns down while you're at sea, you're pretty much screwed. Especially since this one doubles as your home. I recommend against having any sort of fire pit on board. Bring some salted meat, some bread, maybe some citrus fruit for the scurvy, and save the cooking for when you make it back to port. Other than that, this area has been refitted pretty well for everyday living. There's an alchemy station here, ample storage for food, and plenty of counter space. I take issue with how much of this stuff is just loose, though. These plates and bowls are getting shattered the instant you run into some choppy waters. You've got plenty of space in these cupboards, so stow that stuff. What the hell is going on here? What is this painting? Why is he sucking on their toes? You know, stuff like this, strange as it is, makes me think. Were people really down bad for feet like this back in the day, like a century or two ago? Has the foot fetish always been a thing, and it's just been made more widely known because of the internet? I always assumed it was more of a modern thing, but maybe not. This is the sort of painting where if you ask the painter what it's about, they're going to have some pretentious answer like, it's about the fleeting nature of youth and grace. Yeah, like, sure, buddy, but you still painted a guy sucking toes. That's a toe sucker right there. This table is huge, and beautifully carved as well. Man, it must have been an absolute pain in the ass to haul this thing on board, then maneuver it down the steps. Shiver my goddamn timbers, this thing's on a couple of rugs. That's not good at all. It's gonna be sliding around here, bashing up your artwork and your shins once you get out to sea. To be honest, you could make better use of what little space we've got down here. You don't really need a table this big, especially since you have some up on the deck already. I say sell this table, and use the money to buy some lanterns to replace all these candles with. Lit candles are a huge no-no on ships. Even on modern cruise ships, which are not made entirely out of wood, candles are against the fire safety regulations. One tough wave and all of these suckers are sliding off the furniture and onto the floor. I have a hard time believing an experienced captain would let their ship leave the harbor with lit candles on it. So I'm going to choose to believe that the candles were put here by some real estate person who has no idea what they're doing, and thought it would make it look more appealing to potential buyers. Or this captain is trying to kill us. I hadn't even thought of that. Wow, check out this spinny globe thingy acting as a stand-in for the arcane enchanter. I've never seen this before. It looks dangerous though, so I'm not going to touch it. It looks like that big-ass marble that Pippin got in trouble for taking in Return of the King. You know, I recently tried to read the Lord of the Rings books, and I did read the first two. They were great, but there's something about Return of the King that was just grinding me down. It has the most action out of all the books, but that's honestly not Tolkien's strength. I think Lord of the Rings is at its best when it's about traveling and witnessing the vastness of the world outside the Shire. I stopped reading about halfway through. Maybe I'll get back into it, I don't know. People are going to burn me at the stake for this, but I don't really care. I actually think that outside the exclusion of Tom Bombadil's character, the Peter Jackson films are better than the books. There, I said it. Someone somewhere just looked up from their copy of the Silmarillion and their eyes started twitching, and they have no idea why. So over here we have the bedroom, and again, the amount of furniture set on rugs makes me very nervous. There are plenty of little statuettes and shrines to give it character, though, and there's even a small model of the Pride of the Nibbin that makes my game lag. Very cute. I really like all the art on the walls, too. There's some rock-solid compositions here, which makes the foot painting all the more jarring. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen a ship have a full regular bed on it. They're usually hammocks, are they not? So that you can sleep while the ship is bobbing around in the water? This is weird, but if it's nailed down, it might work. I don't know, though. I'm not an expert on the logistics of naval travel. I just have a cursory knowledge of it. So if anyone more experienced with ships than me wants to chime in and give any other pros or cons that they noticed with this player home, please do so in the comments. The last feature of the ship that I haven't gone over yet is its ability to travel. By interacting with the ship's wheel up on the deck, you can move the Pride to any of the cities that hug the Sea of Ghosts. That's Solitude, Dawnstar, Winterhold, or Windhelm. Not only that, but there's also an option to sail out into the open sea, for if you've just had enough of civilization and need to clear your mind in the company of the seagulls and horkers. This is a new area added in by the mod itself. There's not much here. I was half expecting to run across some pirate stash or a skeleton or two up here on the glacier, but nah, not this time. One gripe I do have with Skyrim is that it's extremely dense. It works great mechanically, but you can't travel through the wilderness for long at all without coming across a witch's cabin or a troll camp. So it can feel superficial at times. I know that this is just a product of the time that it was made in, but I can't help but feel that this makes Skyrim feel like a theme park. That's why I'm thankful for when mods have areas like this that are just wilderness. It's nice not to be attacked by bandits every 5 minutes for once. Solitude is the only city on the list of destinations that I actually like, so let's tie off there and close the book on this home. Oh, good to see Deeja's making herself at home.
It should put on some coverings.
The gall. The Pride of the Nibbin is a wonderful little ship. I was being pedantic for the sake of discussion, but this really is one of the best options for you if you wanted to play as a seafaring character. The feature of being able to make port at any of the port cities makes it very convenient too. I love the smaller player homes, and I plan on featuring more in the future because they're just so quaint and charming. GG Humus is clearly a very talented mod creator, so hats off for coming up with this idea and following through on it. It fits well in the world of Skyrim while retaining a unique look to it as well. But what if you get seasick easily and the call of the sea is more like a grating scream to you? What if you're the land-loving scholarly type who would sooner stick their nose in a book than sail the high seas? Well, look no further. I've got just the thing for you. The next place I have to show you around is called Magpie Manor. It was created by a Proco, and just look at it. It looks absolutely gorgeous, and we haven't even gone inside yet. You'll have to be a little more well off for this one compared to the Pride of the Nibbin, though. If you can pony up a hefty sum of 30,000 septims, Magpie Manor is yours. That's waterfront property for you. There's a lot to look at on the outside before we head in. First off, this is a lovely spot geographically. Being on the river means that you have access to a place to fish, fresh water for laundry, cooking, and drinking. We're also just a few minutes walk to Iverstead and Whiterun. Windhelm too, if you ever just feel like you're too happy. I guess I'm not crazy about how the river runs directly through the foundation here, but that's nothing some careful maintenance can't remedy. I'm already seeing a lot of small details, which I like. They lend this house a definitive smarty pants vibe, so I think mages or alchemists or other types of lesser adventurers would feel right at home here. There's a bird bath here with a crow that definitely is not an agent of Nocturnal watching over us. The sundial is cool, but it's not in a good spot to tell time with all the shade. And I love this tub with the decorative fish faucet. It doesn't look heated though, so you'll need to keep some fire salts on hand if you want a hot bath out here. The amount of statues on the premises is also befitting of scholarly types. They love their statues. We have Bashful Woman, Androgynous Person showing us how big of a sub sandwich they could eat, Creepy Weeping Angel looking thing, and my personal favorite, Dude with Peepee Out offering you a Four Loko. There's actually more, but those are the important ones. Oh wow, check this out. This is a really big greenhouse. It's pretty too. Definitely one of the better ones I've seen in Skyrim. There are a bunch of planting pots for all your gardening needs. All that's missing is a love seat or something in here so that you can sit here and just enjoy the company of the foliage. I like plants a lot, but I'm not like a plant guy, you know? Like I have some sprigs of aloe hanging up in the shower to keep it fresh in there, but I don't have plants hanging from the ceiling in my bedroom or anything. It's probably for the best. I don't think I could keep up with the watering. This greenhouse is great though. There's even a small pond in the back. You could probably grow some of the more aquatic plants down there. And look at the frogs spouting water in the back here. That is just class. I love frogs, man. As a matter of fact, if someone doesn't like frogs, unless they have like a phobia of them or something, I don't trust them. Who doesn't love a good frog? Oh yeah, I forgot to mention it, but this place also comes equipped with a fully fenced-in area that includes some animals already. 2 hens, a rooster, and a ram. If you keep these chickens comfy in their box, you can have fresh eggs each morning. I don't know what the goat is here for, though. Looking at those horns, it's definitely a male, so no milk. I'll tell you what, though, he's a cute little bastard. I guess he could be a pet. Alright, I think it's finally time to head inside. There's no lengthy intro quest or anything, you just interact with this sign here to pay for it. I kinda wish buying a house in real life was like that. Oh, this is already fantastic. I can tell there is an absolute ton of detail packed into what seems to be a fairly modest interior. The floor in the entry hall is this nicely patterned tile with some throw rugs over it, which is very ideal for the waterfront aspect of the manor. You wouldn't want to be tracking mud in here. And I have to say, praise where it's due, no TARDIS syndrome here. This place looks exactly the same size as it is outside. A lot of modded Skyrim player homes give you too much space, which makes the interior feel too video gamey and fake. So I enjoy how it's kinda cramped in here. Now of course, I'd probably walk that compliment back the second I have to be in here with a follower who's gonna block the way a bunch, but still, it's very nice. The dining room off the entry hall has a cramped but detailed charm to it, and the amount of custom textures and models gives it a unique feel, which is hard to find since that's a lot of extra work to import your own assets like that. The woodwork alone justifies the price tag, I think. Just look at this trim. Absolutely gorgeous. And this level of detail is consistent throughout the entire house. This sitting room over here is nice. It looks like someone was playing a game here, but I can't tell what. Definitely not Gwent. And I'm gonna say it because we're all thinking it. This couch looks mad uncomfortable. The cushions look thin and firm, and the fabric looks scratchy as all hell. I think my grandmother had a couch like this. As a matter of fact, considering the wallpaper and the rug, this whole room is giving grandma's house. But like a cool grandma. The grandma that buys you an ice cream when your parents said no. Or the grandma that'll drop some completely insane family lore out of nowhere. I found out about entire relatives that I didn't even know existed that way. Moving on, if we head downstairs, there's a sink with running water. Damn, yeah, that's quite advanced for the world of Skyrim. Most of the modded homes that have sinks or baths with functionality make sure to have the plumbing take on a Dwemer appearance, since that's the most likely lore-accurate reason for having running water. And we have that here, too. Look, there's even socks and stuff hanging up to dry here. It's slightly concerning that the house just comes like this. Like, pre-furnished is one thing, but this is pre-lived in. All the previous homeowners' possessions are laid out like they were here yesterday. Maybe some bank saw dollar signs with this property and was watching the previous owner like a hawk, like they were just waiting to scoop up the manor after their death to resell it for a quick buck, and they didn't even bother to clear it out. This kitchen is humble, but fully featured and beautifully detailed. We've got an oven here for all your confectionery needs, the cooking pot and fireplace, of course. You can even use the shelves here to set breakfast on the table down here, or a more elaborate feast on the table upstairs. Both of them make my mouth water. It's purely visual, but I mean, who doesn't like the sight of fluffy scrambled eggs, bacon, and fruit all set out on the table like this? Monsters, that's who. I like the look of the girl's face in this painting. I know that look. That is the perfect expression for when you overhear someone dumb being wrong about something that you know a lot about, but you're too in your own lane and flourishing to outright correct them. So you just sit there like this. I've been there before. In the back of the kitchen, there's a neat little pantry to store all of your dry goods, and cold storage, and a frigging smoker. This kitchen is so much smaller than the ones I've seen before, and yet it is packed with utilities. It's a hobbit's dream. I do have to wonder how the cold storage stays cool enough to have actual icicles in it, though. Maybe an enchantment of sorts? And I was gonna get on this place for having a wooden door to the smoker, but upon further inspection of the texture, I think they thought of that and made the door out of clay or something. See, that is how you prevent a fire. Time to head upstairs, and when I do, I'm greeted by some really great-looking paintings and tapestries on the walls. This one here is a family tree. Most likely the previous owners, if I had to guess. I wish I could read it, but I don't know what language that is, if it's even real. If anyone knows, let me know. Hey, I know this one. That's Joan of Arc, the original badass bitch. Respect. And this must be the master bedroom. I love the mural above the headboard, and the bed itself looks like the perfect one to crawl into on a cold winter night. I actually prefer the look of a slightly unmade bed. The ones that are perfectly made up and neat look so unnatural and unwelcoming to me. It's like too clean. Over here is some toggleable romantic decor for the bed that adds rose petals and a champagne tray. For if you're an enjoyer of the more unchaste Skyrim mods. The walk-in closet is straight up splendid too, with the decorative work done on the ceiling and yet another extremely relatable old painting. That's me if you even care. The wardrobe has every type of storage you could ever want, including linked storage that you can access from the areas outside. And what's this? Thought you could sneak a secret panel past me? Oh, vampires. Okay. Honestly, I don't buy it. This house is way too cottagecore cozy for a vampire to be the homeowner. I bet this is a vampire guest room. Or the previous owner had a spouse who was a vampire or something. Vampires don't set the table for breakfast, guys. Let's head up to the 3rd floor. This is a cozy little nook here. I'd get annoyed trying to lay down on the curved bench, but it looks nice to do a bit of light afternoon reading. The decor is excellent still, and nice and magey. They like stars and shit, right? From here, we can access the tower attic, and in it is a bunch of plant pots, complete with a sky dome and a working mister, which is impressive work, I have to say. Over here is one of the best decorated spaces in the whole house, the library. There's dusty tomes with mysterious symbols, countless gems that are definitely magical in nature, taxidermies of exotic animals which I could honestly do without, and numerous artifacts that all no doubt have years of history to them all on their own. I feel like I need a purple smoking jacket and a monocle to even be up here. I could spend hours making up lore about all this stuff, but my concentration would suffer. You know why? I haven't brought it up so far so as not to sour the vibe, but one of the features of Magpie Manor here is a big old clock at the top of this room that counts the time accurately and dings on the hour every hour, with the number of dings corresponding to the in-game time. It's a cool detail, but honestly, I find it annoying. Not only can you hear it throughout the entire house because of how loud it is, but 1 hour in Skyrim time is like 3 minutes of real life. So you're hearing this thing dinging every 3 damn minutes. I guess you could use console commands to alter the game's timescale, but even then I would find it too much. Honestly, the fact that this is my one and only complaint about the manor so far is a testament to how good the mod is in the first place. But by the 9 do I wish there was a way to turn it off. Moving on from that, the laboratory across the way is equally as well decorated as the library, and it's also well equipped for all the magical endeavors under the sun. It even has one of those spider maker thingies from the Dragonborn DLC, if you're into that. I gotta hand it to Magic users, man. They know how to decorate. I don't know what the hell this thing is, but I like it. Oh shit, yeah. It just started raining in-game. That is at least a 30% good vibes modifier. It'll mess with the audio balancing a little bit, but I don't even care. What's this, a storage room? Dude, even the dusty old storage room up here has some level of aura to it. It looks like someone was doing some painting. Look at this. In an astounding example of the dedication to detail here, they have recreated the subject of this still life painting over there on the other side of the easel as the reference. I absolutely love that. And this whole room, for that matter. There's something about an attic, you know? And Frank was onto something. Over here we have the bathroom, fully functional of course, including a toilet, which is unfortunately made out of wood. You can even choose to fill the bath or run the shower. Nord's barely even bathed to begin with. Can you imagine the levels of flabbergasting that would go on in here if you invited some buddies from Iverstead over and showed them this? They wouldn't even know what to do with themselves. And you know, I love a bathtub with the little dragon legs, but I'm just now realizing that this thing is absolutely massive. You could bathe a troll in this thing. Oh, are you kidding me? Your character gets out a book and starts reading on the toilet? Oh, that is good. That is very good. Above the library, there's an alchemy lab where you can paralyze yourself testing ingredients to your heart's content. It has diagrams, places to put your recipes, and it's even got individual little drawers for every ingredient, which is nice on the surface, but it seems annoying to navigate when you actually want to mix potions. The final room of the manor is the guest bedroom up in the very top of the house. It's very bare bones compared to the rest of the place, but at least it has a heat stove. You're going to be thankful for that. It's going to be cold up here during the winter time because you're on the 4th floor. The painting of the dragon thingy here isn't bad though. And finally, that's going to do it for the tour of Magpie Manor. You can say what you want about it not fitting the overall aesthetic of Skyrim, and sure you could complain about the clock chiming every hour, but there is no denying the visual splendor and beauty of this place. The amount of small details is completely insane compared to most other modded player homes. According to the mod page on Nexus, each and every individual piece of Magpie Manor was placed by hand, which results in an extremely unique floor plan and room layout. I can confidently say that there is no other player home like it. From the basement up to the 4th floor, this property is jam-packed with both form and function. Honestly, after seeing all it has to offer, 30,000 gold seems very cheap. It should be at least 50,000, since it comes with all the furnishing and running water for shit's sake. It's the perfect home for pretty much anybody, but the style and elegance of it all definitely appeals more to the intellectually inclined people of Skyrim. I will say that due to the manor's proximity to the Cave of Darkshade just across the river, I don't think it's a very suitable home to raise your children in. Not only is the entrance to the cave strewn with bloody bones and battered bodies, but this place is teeming with trolls. And come mating season, these suckers are going to be aggressive as hell. Still, an absolutely immaculate player home here by Uproko. Fantastic job. Before I get into the last major part of the video, I want to do something that I call the Little Guys segment. There's a lot of really cool player homes that are also fairly small. These homes would be difficult to stretch out over a full segment, but they're still very much deserving of our attention. So I'm going to lightning round this. Here we go. The first little guy is called Staff of Shallidor by Haim Projects. It's this neat little number. If you just use it as a regular staff, it shoots lightning, but you can also travel inside of it. It has a tiny home in the tip of the staff, and when you shrink down, that tiny home becomes a normal-sized home. Oh, look at this. It looks like some sort of Escher deal up there. In a wonderful touch, you can see the rings seen on the outside of the staff if you look out the windows. Not only is the presentation great, but there's some decent utilities here too, like an alchemy table, plenty of storage, a cooking pot with no fire under it, and a freaky mannequin for displaying your threads. But I'll be honest, if I moved into this staff, this thing is going in the trash. I find mannequins creepy and churlish. If you walk into this wispy green thingy, the whole space flips upside down, and you now have access to the room on the ceiling. This is trippy, man. Here we have a safe for all your gems and valuables, a nice little writing desk with a foreboding human skull on it, and a humble twin-sized bed. Hang on. This has always bothered me. Skyrim beds have this tiny little pathetic cylinder of a pillow. That thing doesn't have enough support. That's a neck pillow at best. And these things are on all the beds in this game. No wonder people in Skyrim are so damn grouchy all the time. They probably all have neck pain. Someone should step in and take advantage of the pillow market in this country. You could make coin hand over fist, I think. Through this hatch in the floor, there's another trippy room that has all the smithing stuff, as well as this weird sideways torrent of water. That's interesting. I bet you could bathe in that, but it would take some getting used to. It's like the Skyrim version of those fancy-ass showers you see sometimes with the water jets that come out of the walls. Anyways, all of this is inside the tip of a staff. So what happens when someone picks it up and uses it to shoot lightning while you're inside of it? Do you get a crazy light show, or would it fry you? Hard to say, but this is a neat little home. Perfect for the traveling wizard that is way too busy to settle down somewhere. The next little guy is called Somnolent Nook by Orioi. It takes us to Riften, one of my favorite cities in the game, at least visually. You can access the place by taking the key from the hollowed-out book in the back deck of Bully's house. I guess this is technically Bully's attic space that you'd be squatting in, so you'd better be quiet. I guess you can eavesdrop on him and learn all of the trade secrets of a successful fisherman. Look at this, though. This is really nice. It's like an average $3,000 a month apartment in New York City. I think it would annoy me in real life, but I love the look of slanted ceilings. It makes it feel cozy in here. There's a good amount of detail crammed in here for it being such a small area. We've got a model ship up here, and this nifty little miniature of a dwarven sphere that would make a great Christmas gift for someone. There's even tiny portable versions of an alchemy station and an enchantment station, so it doesn't look like we're compromising on utility here. This fireplace, though, it seems up to snuff until you notice the wooden mantle here. Come on, guys, what are we doing? The baking tools down here on the fireplace let you create any item you could make in a regular stove. I think you would need a little more than a plate and a knife to make most of this stuff, but it's a good feature gameplay-wise. This bed is small and made of hay, but I gotta admit, I like the way it looks. All tucked away neatly in the corner like it belongs to the boy who lived or some shit. And it looks like someone is listening to me because look, they made the pillow bigger. Yeah, I could sleep here. I could definitely sleep here. I have some minor concerns about leaks, though. Being in the attic makes it more likely to affect you, but I can't really speak to the quality of Riften roofing contractors. It looks alright from a cursory glance, but I don't know. Rains quite a lot in Riften. Overall, this is a pretty nice crib. As long as Bully doesn't come up here to get his old fishery sign, you could be pretty comfy here. And what's more is it's free. Imagine the look on his face when he comes up here and finds not only a squatter, but like a comfortable squatter. Like you're sitting here with your feet up, warming them by the mantle. You've got a bed, a desk, and everything. He'd probably actually be fine with it. He would just ask you for rent. Times is hard and all that. This is the perfect starter home for a fresh Thief playthrough, with it being right here in Riften near the Thieves Guild, and also very small, but with pretty much all of the kit a budding thief would need. Alright, that does it for the little guys segment. Now on to the final main event of the video. The homes we've toured so far have all been pretty grounded and universally appealing, so how about we do something a little more dark and evil and twisted and fucked up? This next one is called Tashan by Eleonora. For some reason, it's really fun to say it in a southern accent. Tashan. You can access it by finding this ancient portal in the Reach. Oh yeah, this is moody alright, and dark. This is a Dremora merchant named Rake. I guess he lives here? Does he pay rent? Do I pay rent? What's the arrangement here? Rake sells a few miscellaneous bits and bobs along with two really nice items from the mod itself. A witch's hat and a spell for teleporting yourself back here from anywhere in Skyrim. Yeah, I'll take it. Keep the change. You know what? It kinda suits me, don't you think? So yeah, I don't even have to say this for you to get the vibe, but the Nexus page for this mod mentions that this place is intended for Necromancer characters. Yeah, they'd feel right at home here, I bet. This shit is straight out of the Necronomicon. As a skeleton, you would think that I would be comfortable here too, just by extension, but I wasn't raised by a necromancer. Or if I was, Mom and Dad did a great job at hiding it. Sometimes a skeleton is just a skeleton. And this one likes to have just a little bit more light around. Imagine stepping through that portal or using the spell to warp here, coming in from a bright sunny day. You wouldn't be able to see jack shit. You would trip and fall into this pond here, and then Rake would laugh at you. The aura loss would be doubled if you're supposed to be an evil, no-frills necromancer. Actually, that mental image is kind of sending me. Just the thought of an evil dark wizard eating it on the sidewalk in his robe. Oh, shit. He's all, like, tangled up and shit. He's all, like, tangled up and he can't get up. He needs help. Oh, I am very tired. Oh, hey, ghost deer. I like them. I like the sky, too. It kind of has a neon cobwebs look going on. I wonder if it rains here. Rake has a tent, so maybe. Alright, let's head inside. Huh. Not a bad entryway. There's a lot of nice open space here. So the house itself is actually called Mistrest. The pocket dimension that it's in is what Tashan refers to. If I'm not mistaken, this is a modification of the default bookcase model. I enjoy the detail of the scrolls and tomes inside of it, so well done there. I'm satisfied overall with the amount of artifacts on this desk alone. Soul gems, mysterious charcoal rubbings, dusty tomes, dwarven puzzle cubes, and plenty of skulls. If those neck lovers decide to move in here, they don't even have to decorate. It's already got skulls all over this place. Skulls a la mode. I was expecting this to be a bit more evil in here, actually. Like maybe an Iron Maiden here, a rusty cage there. I guess that just goes to show you that even I'm not always aware of my biases. I picture those who raise the dead to have long, tangled hair, pale skin, eyeshadow, and murderous intent behind the cold gleam of their eyes. But I bet there's a good share of wholesome necromancers out there too. Like the ones that summon their grandmother or something when they forget a family recipe. Oh, by the way, quick question for all the Skyrim heads in the comments. What animal is this skull from? Is this a Reichling skull or something else? Whatever it is, it looks like I got picked on in high school. Look at the gnashers on this guy. It looks like there's slots to display a bunch of the unique items. I think pretty much all of the ones centering around conjuration and dark energies have a place in the shelves or racks. There's even slots for each of the Elder Scrolls themselves. I know I said this in the last Skyrim special, but I think it bears repeating. The Elder Scrolls are some of the most powerful artifacts on Nirn. They can grant practiced mortals insane amounts of power and influence. If you're going to bring them back to your home, they need to be under tight security. Tighter than tight. That shit needs to be behind like 6 comically thick bank vault doors and be guarded 24/7. It is purely irresponsible to have them hanging up as mantelpieces. Speaking of mantles, the fireplace passes all my tests. It looks to be pretty safe, with no discernible fire hazards. And I have to stop to praise the detail that Eleonora has added to this pot of stew here. I don't think I've ever seen another mod add steam coming up out of the cooking pot, lending it the illusion that it's getting a nice simmer going. Very good. There's what this mod calls a baking surface over on the fire that lets you make baked goods. I don't know if I've said it before, but Skyrim's bread looks good, man. If you give me some butter or some oil and shakers, I'd fuck that loaf up no questions asked. But yeah, this kitchen is surprisingly well equipped for that of a necromancer. It's just as stocked as the alchemy station over there. I guess I could see a potion seller getting really into cooking. I actually do call my own cooking in real life alchemy when it's something really good. Holy, what is this? Is that a sandwich with cooked chicken breast and leaves? A for effort here. I don't think I've ever even considered making a sandwich out of Skyrim ingredients, but I don't think I know anyone with a big enough mouth to eat this thing. Not even Steven Tyler could get that in his gullet. The problem is that it's 2 whole loaves of bread and 2 whole chicken breasts. You're better off making a chicken pot pie with those ingredients. Or maybe chicken and dumplings, but I kinda can't stand that dish, so I don't recommend it. It's not dumplings, it's just soggy bread. Who named it that? Let's head upstairs. I'm into this, actually. It's kinda nice up here. I love the look of the roots and the ivy all over the walls. It probably makes it smell very earthy in here, which is nice. Don't need to spend so much money on scented candles anymore. This trophy case is very impressive and probably looks even better when it's full of the items it accepts. I think it may be dangerous to have Daedric artifacts just a few feet away from you while you're sleeping, though. I think they can influence your dreams. At least the more evil ones like the Mace of Molag Bal could. I want to say that this is one of the more comfortable looking beds we've seen in this series. No, I will say that. Just look at the fabrics. It looks like these are actual mattresses instead of the hay thrown onto some wooden slats like I'm used to seeing in this game. I think it's just two twins pushed together so you can't sleep in the center comfortably, but for you and yours, this bed is a home run. I was trying to find something to complain about, and I think I got one. The ceiling in here is too high. I bet it's already cold in this pocket dimension since there's no sunlight. The fireplace on the first floor is a good start, but there is nothing like that up in the bedroom, so you're going to be making good use of the blankets at least. I, for one, actually sleep better in the cold since I love being buried in blankets, but I know not everyone is like that. It might be a pretty easy renovation to put a fireplace up here since the chimney is right here in the corner. And that is really all I have to say about Mistrest here. It's a little quaint, but it's got all you need, and right on your doorstep is a dark and evil-looking forest for you to brood in. And it comes with a hat. How many homes come with a hat? Honestly. It's actually pretty powerful. It gives you a little boost to all schools of magic. I would definitely recommend Tashan to not only necromancers, but really any wizard practicing the more unsavory magics. The extra-dimensional nature of it means that you won't be interrupted from your dark rituals by some knuckle-dragging Nords crying about ancestral heresy or defiling the dead or whatever. As long as you don't annoy Rake by saying that he was named after a piece of gardening equipment, you're fine. He's a good roommate. Cleans up after himself and all that. Really great job with this, Eleonora. I can tell that the real passion here is in the environmental design. The color scheme alone is perfect, and I'll be the first to admit, I'm a sucker for those giant black reach mushrooms. I'd have those in my real-life apartment if I could. It will never cease to amaze me how much Skyrim modders managed to pull off in this game from 2011, and using mostly vanilla assets too, all for free by the way. It's super refreshing to check into these modding communities every so often and see them pumping out extremely creative and original stuff for everyone else to enjoy. It's an underrated form of expression, and I'll die on that hill. I keep seeing pretty damning news about Nintendo's absurd prices and how badly they're out of touch with things, or stuff about Sony increasing prices across the board despite them making record profits recently. But then I shift my attention away from the mega corporation side of gaming and look at the smaller communities of actual people who really care about games and see them as more than money-making opportunities. And it makes me feel way better. It's a real the kids are all right moment, if you know what I mean. And it's not just the Skyrim modding community either. Really any place where people share their modifications and additions with each other for free is an island in the tumultuous sea of the monetized entertainment industry. I don't mean to demonize anything that costs money. I just think it's nice that there's so much art and self-expression out there that doesn't pander to producers or investors or any other intrusive arm of the creative process that could alter the original vision. There has never been a better time to be a budget gamer. Okay, I'm just rambling now. We looked at a lot of cool shit in this episode. All the homes have their own charms and character to them, but if I were to pick one to move into, it would definitely be Magpie Manor. I just adore the intimacy it attains by having smaller rooms and corridors, and the details are incredible. I will say, I'll be taking a sledgehammer to that damn clock day one, though. I don't care that it's a wonder of engineering. It's annoying to me. As always, all the mods we looked at today will be in the credits and the description of the video, if you wanted to check them out for yourself or send a nice comment to the creators. Alright, that's all I have to say for this episode. Thanks for sticking around to check out some more Skyrim player homes. And remember to wash your legs in the shower. Like, really wash them. No, the water going down off your body isn't enough. Why did I write that? Alright, see ya.